Extensive manhunt continues after 2 suitcases with human remains were found on Clifton Suspension Bridge in Bristol.
Yes, Avon and Somerset police have released images of the suspect and urged anyone who sees him not to approach him and to call 999 immediately.
Yes, so the police have confirmed that just before midnight on Wednesday, the suspect was taken to the Bristol landmark by taxi, where passers-by reported a man acting suspiciously.
Well, joining us now is former police sergeant Harry Tang, because, Harry, this is a deeply concerning and slightly curious case.
It is. Hello, Tom. Hello, Emily. It is, and it's unusual, isn't it? It's the sort of thing you usually see on some thriller or whatever, and people aren't used to it so close to home. It's quite frightening. It's an interesting one. The police have got a massive scale operation now. They've got to identify a few things. They've got a number of scenes. So if you're looking at the CCTV, and there's a lot of very useful Ring doorbells out there that people can assist with, it's a very clear description. I don't think it's a matter of time. It's probably a matter of time, or they have a good idea who it is right now. And if you look at his footwear, it's, on the full image, there's really thick white soles that, if you didn't see him since, because he disposed of them, you probably remember someone wearing them beforehand. The forensics, of course, are going to be on the bridge, the cases. It's going to be in the taxi. They'll be looking where the taxi picked the person up, how he actually ordered the taxi. Was it cash? Was it cards? All these things are traceable. And what is it? The app, of course. And then you've got the postmortem. This will be a forensic postmortem, which is different from the standard postmortem. Postmortem will tell you how someone died, and it's used for non-suspicious. Then you get the Home Office forensic pathologist who will tell you how they died. So not in what process and in what order, and whether they were tortured and whether ligatures were used, etc. And it will tell the police a lot more about that individual. I imagine it won't be long before we establish the identity of that person with DNA. DNA will be looked for in the taxi, as well as all the rest of the scenes, of course. And of course, we don't know if he's the killer or not. He could have been just the person transporting. He's come to the actual security part of Clifton, from what I can see from the information we've had. He hasn't been able to get through. He's then sort of been in a panicky situation. And then some say he's been chased by a cyclist, but the security guards, good for them, have alerted very quickly, and the police were there within 10 minutes. So if he's panicked, hopefully he's made more mistakes, and that they can establish some more details to trace him.
I thought eyewitnesses had said that there were 2 men. We have that picture there of what appears to be a young-ish black man with a cap and, as you say, with those trainers on. But I heard from eyewitnesses that perhaps there was another man, a white man.
Yes, exactly. And I've tried to look into that a little bit more, but I haven't found anything else. I wouldn't, until the official information is across, because if there was a white man, then I would have expected a description, unless they were very well covered, and there's no point releasing something that's just a blur. But I also know, through my 30 years on frontline policing, is that witnesses, very well-meaning witnesses, but they can, when they're thinking back, think things that just aren't correct. I mean, I've had things where people say they were coming from the top of the hill down to the bottom and they crashed, when in fact they were going uphill. So it's well-meaning. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I haven't heard too much about that.
Yes, human memory, I suppose, is imperfect, and we can all sort of misremember and then remember our misremembering and be completely convinced that we knew what we saw when we didn't see anything like it. But Harry, this is, of course, both a missing persons case, it's a manhunt, but it's also a mystery.
It is. It's a mystery. And I think the pieces will start to fall into place very quickly, because we have that very good description. Now, there are a lot of young men in this country who we have no idea who they are, of course. They might have a criminal record as long as your arm, but in another country. And that will take a longer time to establish with Interpol or whatever, or going with Europe, etc. But we don't know if this is a gang crime. We don't know if this is just... but it's a big step, isn't it, from killing someone and then literally getting them into 2 suitcases and then moving them to try to, I assume, throw them from the bridge into the water. Because if it gets to the water, the chances are, yes, the cases may wash up, but just as likely that they can enter the sea and never be seen again, which can often happen in our waterways. So good for those security guards. Thank goodness for the cameras that have given us that good picture. And yes, the police, their net is spreading much quicker, and I hope it will be a member of public who recognises the individual. I hope it will be somebody who's caught them on further CCTV or whatever, or even police informants. They're out there. Police informants won't like what's happened and will inform the police as well. So watch this space for the next 24 hours, and I think things will develop. I have a hunch over it.
Well, of course, I mean, Clifton Suspension Bridge is very much in prime view. You can see it from so many directions. Of course, there'll be a lot of surveillance there as well. It is almost bizarre that this suspect, if he has committed a crime or whatever, would do so there. But thank you very much indeed, Harry Tang. Always great to get you on to discuss crime issues. Former police sergeant, of course.